I'm Chavis Watson, Executive Director of Local Service Agency, Working Group 512. We are based here in Austin. I'm also the 85 to Stay Alive organizer for Texas Prisons Community Advocates, also called TPCA. And we are the host of this event, the partner host for this event, bringing in our 85 to Stay Alive campaign with the heated mocktail.
Okay, I have just a quick question before we even get started. Is being in this cell at all, is it traumatic for you at all? How does it make you feel being in a similar, I'm sure it's not exactly the same, but a similar situation to situations that you were put in being in prison?
Sure. I'm a bit different. If we do a 10-man analogy in the community and we survey 10 guys, I'm a bit unique than the other 9, right? But to appeal to you, every time I come in here, I remember 7 years ago, almost to the date, where I was laid here and I woke up. It wasn't a one-person cell. We had 2 folks. And as soon as I, rolled over, I realized a puddle on the floor, right? So when I come in these days, sometimes I see that puddle when you talk about trauma. I think it's important to know that trauma is only defenseless against a loving community. It's not something we just say we have and we trade in our foul ways, but we address it and overcome it. Sometimes I still see the puddle. I remember thinking that the one-hitter quitter was leaking, or maybe something had happened and the walls broke and it rained. I shook too. I got up, and as I turned, I see my cellmate just lifeless, and I realized that he died overnight, and he'd suffocated in this heat. I didn't know what to do. I called for the guard. Guards don't come. I backed into that corner. That's why I told you I usually stand over there. I backed into that corner and I looked at him and I realized that I didn't know him as well as, we only got to know each other in the week or so we were in there together. I didn't have a number to call his mom. So there's always a strike of isolation that I struggle with. Not just for myself, but for others. We have a big unhoused issue here in Austin, and you see folks traveling the street. Where are they going? Are they walking somewhere all day? Do they have anywhere to go? And that's that same kind of isolation. That's that psychological, emotional isolation that develops in here. So to answer your question, comprehensively, yes. It is traumatic when I come in here, but again, I'm different than my 9 other brothers, so I receive the trauma because I have a loving community that I address it with. I have a loving community that I overcome trauma with. And I'm about turning pain into purpose. See, when I was in here and the walls would sweat and, nobody would hear you, but you could hear the screams, I remember why my father suffered for education and wanted me to go to college. I went to Baylor. Why he wanted me to go to college because I could read and you could do something with reading. And so in here, if you know the power of reading, you can take yourself out of here, You can take yourself out of here and dream and plan. But what if you can't? A lot of folks can't, And I don't do the me work or just the you work. I do the us work. And so if 2 or 3 of us out of 10 people out here, if 2 or 3 out of us can arise above and accept higher learning, then there's 6 to 7 of us that struggle daily. Especially if I walk past you, I see you here, but then you walk past me out there in the parking lot. You don't say hi, or you look in my way, but you look through me. That can break my heart again. That can harm my mindset again because of the isolation I've done in here. The 6x9, the 6x9 construct is wood, but it's certainly not like them all. This is behind the door, the kind of model, and that door only opens when you get food. This door only opens when you get something. There's also behind the chute. The chute, you get the food through the door. There's sometimes a window in the door, but that window's either painted over or closed. Or if they are open, like in Del Valle Correctional Complex, they leave it like half tint. So you don't get to see outside, but you can almost see that there's an outside. It's a true psychological dig. And then you've got your conventional bars. In Williamson County, in the county there's bars. And so you can see the other guy's lane. And there's an element of confusion here because like I may hate the space, but he might appreciate the privacy. Especially when we consider women. Women may, love to sit at the door and talk through the door, but then when they want to, be guarded or having a bad day, really appreciate the privacy in here. But what can you do with the privacy if you have no self-initiative, if you have no higher power, if you have no outlet? You'll use this, your commissary bag, and hang yourself. And you might hang yourself with this, right? You might starve yourself to be a vegetable. You might be overcome with sadness. There's this mantra in TDCJ called the coffee bean, and you got 3 choices in hot water. You can either be a carrot and in hot water shrivel up. You can be an egg and become harder. You know what I'm saying? Become harder. Come back to your folks all hard, insensitive to many things. Or you could be a coffee bean, and a coffee bean in hot water transformed into a good ass cup of coffee. You know what I'm saying? You can make that transformation. But I can't say that you have to do it. You certainly need some help. And that's what we don't understand, People don't have that inner power, and we need more community involvement in the prisons. We need more people helping us with policies. We need more bipartisan, no gender bias, no political bias voice that will say, hey, this is cruel, this is unusual, this is against the 8th Amendment. We have an oath to the U.S. Constitution to ensure even the worst crimes still have their rights.
That was amazing.
Yeah, incredible.
Honestly mesmerizing. Thank you.
I appreciate it.